Wake up, mommy. I just pissed the bed.
You may be wondering how my game is going. To tell you the truth, it's going slow. I wish I had more time to work on it and not be such a dumbass with coding, yet it is what it is.
But time for an anime plot twist of the century.
Because I had a breakthrough, and not just because I implemented a bunch of Epic Games Marketplace plugins. Here, I'll show you and get rid of this dumb cunt's voice for another one's.
Since the last video, I have coded a crouch for the player. Teabagging is back, baby!
Let's go!
As I mentioned already, I implemented a bunch of plugins to help me since I have a coding handicap.
To infinity and beyond!
The main one that I've been utilizing is the player inventory system. I ended up just copying it directly into my test project and then duplicating the files and then reworking the code so that it wasn't broken. So I couldn't botch them during my tweaking process because I knew I would unintentionally do it. The other thing that I have been focusing on for the coding is the interaction between the actors, or like the player and the quote-unquote dino. I followed several tutorials on YouTube and rewatched them several times over. For the longest time, I could not get the code to work, but I finally have a functioning relationship between the two actors. The big thing that keeps breaking is it has something to do with the collision with the actors. Like, you attach the player to the dino and then the player gets in the way of the dino with movement. So I ended up just like shoving the player as far up as I could, and I had it tilted, so I had to like rework it so that it wasn't tilted, because once it jumped off, its entire world would be tilted, and I don't understand why it keeps doing it. I need to figure out how to remove that collision, and I'll get to it at some point. But look at that! You can ride them! Look, you can move around, you can dismount them, and then you pop off in the place that you oh my god, I am a genius sometimes. Aside from the headache of coding, I had an entirely different headache with Blender. Like, I have no idea why I suck at it so much. Like, I can't ever get the right parts of the mesh to fully track with the corresponding bone. Automatic weight painting can suck my fucking dick. It never works for me. Once I get that sorted, it'll be full speed ahead on the animations for the player. Bada bing bada boom, I'm making progress, baby. I also began working on asset designs, like the 2D fundamentals, so that I could use it for my 3D modeling. So I started 3D modeling one of the main resource gathering tool, and it's gonna have a top that flips around. So the primary use is gonna be the hatchet part, and then the secondary use is gonna be flipping the tool to be able to use a primary use of the pick. It's gonna be dope since each tier of resources requires an upgrade, so you can keep the same tool, you just put upgrades modules into it to get access to the higher tier of resources. And coding that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But look! I've done so much! Aren't you proud? Please be proud.